footage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Showtime doc had like the footage of that show.
Oh, the show where he was prepping, like where he was getting ready for
Yeah, well, no, like the show where it just didn't go, like, you know, with
so
Stevie
they filmed
Wonder
a few of them?
Yeah, well, they filmed that strip show where he had to come back the next night and like kind of redo it. He just had like, he was just, he operated from such a place of just like, it was so, it had to be honest to him. I think, and it hadn't gone up in a while and was on stage and was just like in the room and just sat in it. he just sat. The footage is crazy.
Send me that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
Who's
crazy.
got the footage?
Well, it's in the doc. You can see it in the documentary, like a little bit, but I think it's extended footage. I haven't seen the extended footage, if that exists, but
there's some great old cassettes that I bought from like a gas station. Mm-hmm. There were Red Fox's comedy club. Red Fox had a comedy club, and Pryor would go up and just fuck around, man. Just fuck around. And there was many of them. I mean, there was like 7 or 8 recordings.
Mavericks Flats, I think it was, right?
That was the name of the company?
I think so. Off of like Crenshaw or something over there.
Where the club was?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh. I got them when I was living in Boston. And I found them like at a gas station. They were for sale.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it was like, it was small crowd. You could tell it was a small crowd. And Pryor was just fucking around, man. He was ad-libbing. You could tell that like it wasn't structured, and some of it was really funny, and some of it like kind of fell flat. And,
yeah.
And you could hear like the clink of glasses and shit in the background, and it was just so real. Richard Pryor back then, he was doing something that it's like he had figured out a thing that he could do that other people hadn't figured out, and that thing was like just be totally honest and also just explore ideas on stage in front of people, like not even have it mapped out yet, just fuck around and find what's funny. And he'd be smoking cigarettes and just talking, and he figured out a way to turn, and then you would see it boiled in to like Richard Pryor Live or Live on the Sunset Strip or any of his specials. You would see it boiled down into that.
Yeah. Doing it for he performed for television really well. And that's like kind of an element that I think people kind of forget, that like how well of it connected with you watching it at home. Like, even me 20, 30 years later after it's filmed and just watching it with my dad, he plays really well here. You know what I mean? Like, to you, it's like you can feel how personal, how honest it is. And like, so when it was like boiled down, it was just, he was also captured really well.
Did you ever see him live?
No. Pryor?
Yeah.
Wait, how old do you think I am?
No, he was alive doing stand-up 10 years ago. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, well,
When did he die? Maybe it was more than 15 years ago, now that I'm thinking about it.
Did you ever see him live?
Yeah, I had to follow him for like 5 weeks in a row, man.
Really? Where, like a run in
2005 he died? Okay, so it was more than I thought.
Like a run
years ago. He did a run before he died. It was probably right before then. Actually, I want to say it was like the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around then. He was real sick, and they would have to carry him to the stage. And it would take like 5 minutes for him to get to the stage. So they'd introduce him, and the comic would get out of the way. And then Chewy and Marilyn Martinez's husband would help him walk to the stage. They would hold on to him, take him to the stage. It would take forever. It was a slow process. And they'd get him, and they'd sit him down, and they'd crank up the mic like this, because his voice was so soft.
Feeble
then.
and
Yeah, and he would do stand-up. Do like 15, 20 minutes, and then I would go on after him almost every time. It would be me. And eat shit. I would just eat shit. Because first of all, nobody knew who I was. And second of all, they just saw Richard Pryor, and they're sad because he's fading away right in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's an interesting feeling. Like never before has like a British type intermission been needed more.
A British type intermission.
You know, like where it's just like, all right,
Yeah.
Richard Pryor is gone, and 15 minutes, people go smoke cigarettes, come back.
What year did you start doing stand-up?
2008.
Yeah, so you missed it.
Yeah.
Did you go to the clubs at all before then to look around?
No. Well, 2 nights before my first time.
2 nights before your first time?
2 nights before my first time, I went to the Comedy Store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have
My first day in LA. I saw the whole show 9 to 2 a.m.
Wow. You
Yeah.
sat through the whole show.
The whole show, did the open mic that Sunday.